This podcast contains adult content and adult language. In no way does this reflect the opinions of other contributors of Good Morning Gloucester or Homecast. Your discretion is advised.
Good morning, Gloucester. Time for Alicia Unleashed. Talking about what's going on in these streets. Alicia Unleashed. Bitches.
Good morning, Gloucester. This is Alicia Unleashed. This is episode 97. We did it.
We did.
So we said...
We just keep going.
Well, so we said in episode 96 that we were going to keep going. And I'm sure the listeners are like, yeah, right, Alicia. You haven't done so many this year, so why would we believe you? But here we are, episode 97.
Yeah.
With Paul at Paul's Closet.
No,
We're in Paul's Closet.
Which means you have to come out of Paul's Closet at some point. After the...
Yes.
Yeah. That's part of the double, triple entendre.
And we're going to be fabulous when we come out of Paul's Closet.
Yeah, I'll do a little store credit if it's one of my donations. But consigners, you know, I gotta, do them justice. But I'll hook you guys
Should
up
there
with
be a
some
code
stuff.
word? Oh my God. A listener's code word?
There could be. That's up to you.
No, I feel like if they're listening right now and they come in...
A code... Oh, duh. Okay. How about 20% off purchase of... Because I have to be somewhat fair. I mean, you know what I'm saying. First year in business.
Gotta make that cheddar.
I'll say 20% off a purchase of 20 or more. So you spend $100, you'll get 20% off.
Perfect.
With the code word.
Alicia Unleashed.
Alicia Unleashed.
Hello.
And how long will that last?
Until Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So now until Christmas.
Yeah.
So we have a few weeks before that, you know, so
Wonderful.
it'll be awesome.
Perfect.
Really
I
excited.
gotta go enter that into my Square inventory now as the discount code.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You've got some time. I'll get this all in the notes, and they'll have to listen, so we won't even put the code in there. They'll have to
listen to actually get it.
Yeah, no, any promo is... Oh, thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm into that. No, I'm making
Absolutely.
some coffee, and I'm going to put the pot down in a little bit just so you don't hear that.
That is fine.
Are we sure?
Fine.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need ASMR right now.
Yeah, if I don't get this coffee in me, ladies, ADD meds or no ADD meds, I need the coffee.
So, how was your Thanksgiving, Paul?
It was, as usual, friends, family, eating more than eyes bigger than your stomach thing, and then passing out.
So, do you like Thanksgiving or the food,
I do. I think it's changed over the years because as children, we're doing the family thing, and then there's the Friendsgiving thing, and then you realize your family goes beyond blood relatives.
Right.
So I bounce around because maybe you can only handle relatives for so long.
Right, yeah. So Bridget comes to my house. So she came to my house on Thanksgiving.
Dude,
how's the food?
Man, like I said, I go to the gym, and I go drive to Amesbury. I make that drive for her mom's potatoes. Everyone's like, why do you go to the gym? Why would you do that to yourself? I'm like, have you eaten Alicia's mom's potatoes?
Well, ladies,
is bomb.
If anyone has ever seen me in the cafeteria at the high school or just anywhere in life, I'm kind of disappointed you didn't bring me any of those leftovers.
No, there was
there is no leftovers. My sisters fight for leftovers.
There is never leftovers of her mom's potatoes.
No. I actually made a triple batch this year because my sisters were scared that they were not going to have any leftovers.
The thing is, these sisters are smart. They bring, the to-go... they go to the
They bring their
store
own to-go
and the to-go
containers.
things. And it's bring your own to-go, containers, and you take it to go.
And I actually buy extra to-go containers because I don't like leftovers, and I don't even like Thanksgiving food.
I do because I'm tacky.
So, but everyone
Wait, you don't
loves
like
it.
Thanksgiving food?
No.
She just found out that
Peter
Friendsgiving is a potluck.
Yeah, I just found that out.
Well, I like when people do have the weird stuff. Not weird, but growing up, I never had a buffalo chicken dip at a Thanksgiving. But when I have it now, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, as an appetizer. I do cheese and
main course
crackers
out
and,
of it, though.
dips and stuff like that for an appetizer. So I wouldn't, I didn't do buffalo chicken dip for an appetizer.
Just know that next Thanksgiving, you don't owe me an invite, but I will be sending some Tupperware up with you, Bridget, if I don't get that.
Absolutely. So just in 2 days, on December 5th, it's Ladies' Night in Gloucester.
Yes, it most certainly is.
And are you participating in this?
I most certainly am. Also, keep in mind, everybody, right now, there's that, the boxes that they give us through
the shopping
the shopping spree box. I do have that. As I called it, drank the Kool-Aid, but it's tasty Kool-Aid. And so I spent a little bit of money. I think it's important for us to use money to help promote our businesses, you know, whether times are tough or not. Because times are tough. And so I did it. And I got this here. Every purchase, it's not like a minimum of a certain amount of money. You could spend $1, spend 50 cents, and every transaction. So come in here and just get stuff. Go everywhere all over town, and you have all the more chances of winning a lot more money than you spend.
Right. That's awesome. So
I am excited.
Yeah. So what are you going to be doing for Ladies' Night?
Okay. Well, here's the deal. I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
I do want to say this. No offense. I am a very, right now, sober person. I'm on the wagon. I will have snacks and refreshments and drinks. I'm going to be doing a non-alcoholic thing. But
awesome.
Go where you will. Get your wine. It's going to be everywhere. I'm kind of here for, let's say this. I think earlier in the night, my friend, he's a classically trained pianist. He's amazing. His name is Joseph O'Neill. He's going to be playing a little bit of piano. I'm going to have a DJ at night, so all the girls who end up hitting up the bars, if you're sticking around, and it's not like we're going to go home at 9, you're going to stay out till midnight. Last call here is, we're here to dance, so I'll have a DJ, and let's just say, piggybacking on our last podcast together for Closet Case, it won't be a drag, or maybe it will be. That's all I'm saying. But it's going to be...
I might just come out for Ladies' Night.
Yeah, let's just say 9 p.m. Is going to be...
lit.
Yeah, we might not have booze, but we'll get you liquored up in a different way. So there'll be entertainment going on here.
Awesome.
All night.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm getting excited for it.
Yeah. Jazzed.
Yeah.
I am so jazzed.
Unless I check a text message and someone lets me know otherwise. Yeah, I'm gonna take care of that. All your glamour needs.
Awesome.
You know what though? I honestly don't need liquor or alcohol in order to have a great time. So.
But sometimes it's okay because then it makes people buy things they didn't know they didn't.
That exactly.
That's
you
true.
got that. You got
That's
that.
true.
And your store is so great, so centrally located, to be honest, because you are on the little street. You're on Center Street.
Yes.
And you're next to K9 Cuts, but you're right there on the corner. Passports is right there on the corner, and so that's where you are.
High
So
Tide is next
you
door.
are right in the middle of the action of everybody walking by, and they're going to see your shop from that.
With all that spray paint.
Yeah.
If you want to dive into the story of why it looks the way it does, we can, and I will not put anybody on blast, but I will say, you have a gunpowder gray and then a little bit more of a midnight blue trim of my building. And I don't know if there's something with the historical, building society, whatever
Codes
it is.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a reason. Okay, let's just say this. I had some ideas that before going into the summer, we wanted to, the Pantone color, I think, was coral or something. So I didn't want to paint it that, but I knew I wanted brights, something teal or yellow.
Yeah.
I even did a mock-up of what it would look like neon pink and yellow, and I sent it to my my landlord, and I was like, hey, I was like, this guy did this. I don't know what I said, but he basically, his response was, it's pretty cringy. But needless to say, my landlord's a really good guy. The rent's really inexpensive. Originally, this was my friend's studio, or art studio, post-historic studio. And if you want to come in, there's actually an interview that a different guy in town, Bing McGilvery, did on him. And you can see the history of this shop. And I guess I'll get to that story in a second. But basically, I knew that I wanted to paint it and bring more attention because, you can't really see it from the street.
Right.
And I went and got a bunch of paint chips, and I was thinking of colors, and then my landlord's a very busy guy. He's a super cool dude, but he's like an engineer. He's very, very busy. So he didn't get back to me, and I just, had a Paul moment. And I was like, you know what? F this. I have a bunch of spray paint, and a friend of mine was here. I'm like, let's go out and let's spray paint it. And we just, had our way with it. That'll draw their attention. And it did. The summer was good, but I could just really use some signage.
So then when did you open?
So I started, okay, so that story. At the end of February, I did a closet case show at Magma, and it was amazing. I was on point. I'm going to own it. I did a mental health therapy program. It was the best thing I've ever done. I got on meds, stopped drinking, stopped smoking the pot. We can talk about that, right?
Yes.
It's full on everything now.
You can.
As I'm across from High Tide.
We can talk about everything but politics and religion. So it's good.
Perfectamundo. Great. I don't involve myself in either of the two. Unless it's environmental politics, people. Pick up your trash.
There you go.
And so I just, all this confidence and this motivation, nobody telling me I can't do anything was going on. And, literally I put together that closet case show in 15 days. There were 15 performers.
Wow.
I went to one of those Chamber of Commerce Next Gen meetings. I met a bunch of people. I networked the hell out of it. I got 5 gift certificates, so I had things to give the people. 100 people showed up to the show. It was the best one we've ever done. It was theatrical. It was dramatic. It was funny. It was emotionally involved. Anyway, and so I was feeling all my feels, and I'm like, there's some rent, I would love to open a store. I would love to source clothing or cool art or just, I have artisan friends. I want to do it, but different than the rest. And not that, I love all the businesses around, but, we got a lot of sailboat stuff. And I'm like, where's the young, queer, or alternative aesthetic? And all my friends who don't showcase their stuff, let me be the boost of confidence for them. So I'm looking around at spaces, and the old pasta shop up here was for rent, which is double the rent of what I paid here when I called them. And I'm like, ooh, I can't do that. And the lady's all like, maybe you can call the landlord of the building, and if you do an extended lease, she'll drop it. So, I was just going for it.
Yeah.
And so the friends that I was hoping would go on business into this with me, who are artisans, I was inspired by them and what they do. Oh my God, the coffee.
No, it smells so good, though.
Cafe Bustillo, you'll be up for the whole day. So I had this confidence, and I had this drive and motivation, and it just didn't work out. They didn't want to do it. They did not want to do it. And so I'm like, all right, well, I walked across the street one day to my friend Ben's cool little art gallery, very quaint. It did not look like this. But that's his art on the wall. Oh, wow. And so that's his aesthetic, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking, I'm going to take over this kid's shop. I was thinking, I'm going to vent to Ben about nobody wants to help me with my thing. And so I said, you should just let me work here when you go to Maine, because he would go to Biddeford, Maine 4 days or 3 days out of the week.
Oh, wow.
He was between here and there, and I said, I'll work your shop for you. If you want me to, I'll keep it open and, try to sell some art for you. And then he just expressed that he didn't want to do it anymore.
Right.
And then, of course, all the bells and light bulbs go off in my head, and I'm like,
well, I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened. That was, I kind of started doing my thing March 1st, bringing in the clothing of my own. Literally it was Paul's closet. It was stuff out of my, and of course it's tying in my closet case brand. And of course it's tying in the queerness, the closet. I love to push buttons. Although that shouldn't be a button pusher, but,
no.
And skeletons in the closet.
A lot of play on.
Yeah, that's my jam. You guys get it.
Yep.
Totally.
So
I changed the name for May 1st. I have all my licenses. It may look a little funky on the outside, but you lived in San Fran, Bridget, so this stuff is kind of
San Diego
and
Oakland as well. Yeah, because even San Diego, as much as everyone thinks San Diego is polished and whatnot, it also had its intricacies, and it had certain neighborhoods that had its areas, even Hillcrest and stuff like that. Now if you were to go back, all of it has its gentrification, but San Francisco
it's happening everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco's, has more or less of it than anything. The hate is definitely that, but yeah, I totally get that vibe and stuff like that everywhere. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when he told me the rent, I said, if I don't take this chance, and I'll tell you, like, I did not have the money to do it, but I knew, like, with what inspires me, and I like to throw events, and I haven't done as many events in here as I'd like to, but when I did do my soft opening, I guess I've never had a grand opening, right? But when I did the soft opening during the fiesta, it was great. Everybody came in, people shopped. It was fun. So I knew I'm not going to say the number I pay for rent, but I can pull in that much money a month.
Right.
Eventually, I'm going to have to make capital and profit, but I can just pay the bills.
Right.
I will say this, though. No knock on the weed people. But my first night in here, I was rearranging, and when everything's a mess and cluttered, I lose. I'm like, oh, I'm like my mother, the Italian, like, crazy OCD. And I smoked pot that night, and to calm myself down, it was like, I don't have meds, like I said, like, this is gonna, and it was what it was, but I think that this whole time, having been getting stoned here and there again, it just, like, it didn't help the business. It wasn't bad, but I just can't reach my full potential.
Right.
So, I gave that up about a couple weeks ago, and I don't know, maybe I don't need to talk about this. But
No,
I think
you absolutely can.
Whatever you want.
I think it's medicinal and it's great, but people are just doing it every day who do have, like, mindsets like me and motivation, and it's gonna cloud you up, and you're not gonna do what you need to do.
Right. No, it's totally...
They talk about it all the time, too, how, if you get inspired to do something, then go and do it. Don't be scared. Eric talks about it in our heal class.
So good. He's like an inspiration to the core. I
Like,
want him to teach me
to
dance every day.
Stop.
That's
The
awesome.
only person that should be judging yourself, like, don't be judging yourself. Look in the mirror and just go for it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's coming up on December 20th.
Yeah,
have you been
please
getting,
go.
Have you been getting people saying, like, oh my god, I want to go to the next one? And you're like, sure. Okay. See you there, buddy.
Yeah, I actually went for a big walk with Sarah, and we talked about it. I'm like, Sarah, we need to have the promo 3 weeks out, then we got to do another one as a story.
I am telling you, we need to film the Power Strut video.
We should start a social media marketing
For
team
him.
for everyone who we think are worth it.
Yeah.
But his edits of the Army of Sass one time,
Yes.
I say that?
Oh, but yes,
Army
of course.
I'm like,
awesome.
who made the logo and who did
He
those?
does
He's
it.
like, me. And I'm like, okay, so now we got to just
Good shit, dude.
instead just say Heels Class at Magma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you can't use that brand. And then Catherine, my awesome volunteer here. Say hi,
Yes.
Catherine.
Hi.
I'm trying to get her and all her peeps to go because I think he said it's 18 plus, and I'm like, yo, you got to get like
I
these
feel like
teenagers
but I
in
feel
there.
like on the writing it said like 15 or older. Like
Really?
Look it up on Magma.
Okay, well then,
Yeah,
then there you go.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah.
And that's the
Anyway.
thing too. I always want to like. I'm passionate about is connecting the age groups in town. You know, it's sad that I think kids who are 18 should be able to go out to the bars. And you know what that, they shouldn't drink. And guess what? If they get caught, that's who should be getting, no offense, but that's who should be getting fined. Like, that's, the cops, you can meet your quota in other ways than, like, having to, I mean, obviously drunk drivers should be arrested. But I guess I just mean, there needs to be, like, a whole reform, I feel like, of the age groups and how we view, like, what entertainment is for who. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You slap some X's on their hands, you don't wristband them, and you hire a security person to keep their eyes on them.
Well, it's funny because that you say that because last week we had on John Jerome, and we actually talked about how the Cape Ann lanes, they're having bands, and you can bring your family there. So, I can bring Tyler, during F-bomb, so it's like I would be
It works in Europe.
right? So
Yeah.
I would be able to go there and, and then he'd be able to come because, Tyler likes to listen to all that stuff too. So, I totally agree. And I think Cape Ann Lanes might be a great...
Yeah, I love that space. I like
yeah.
that. I think
They're
but
doing some great stuff.
that's where you start, though, right? We have to start small.
Right.
The
Right.
integration
And they
has to be
fought.
family-based.
They fought for a long time with those neighbors about.
What are they even like? Why? How is no one?
What it was
hear
they were
anything?
just trying to change out the arcade. They were just trying to change the arcade around, and their neighbors fought and was like, "No, you can't do this." And it's like they're not even rebuilding. They're not growing the building outside. They're building inside, and the neighbors were like fought it. It was like the most ridiculous fight, and I would love to have them on at some point. We're going to have them. Well, she's very pregnant, and that woman is a rock star badass.
She's on the chamber, and she's the one who's part of the next, like the head of the next gen group.
She's a badass. I watched her like a week. So I went to Mystery Meat. They performed, and she's just running around cleaning up tables with her little belly and her little pregnant belly, and she's just like crushing it. Like that bar was packed all night, and the thing is,
the pub is fully
open. The pub's open now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the pub's open, but it's just like, all they wanted to do was that kind of stuff, and it's like, why the fuck are you having this kind of problem? Just let us have something. There's nothing here. Let us have
it's funny too, because the times of night that's going to be going on, that's not going to bother any. Those businesses are all shut down. Why?
But the thing is, she called. Like the thing is, music stopped at like 10:55. She's like, you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here at 11. Get out.
Yep.
Like, I love you. We love you all. Thank you for coming so much. And that place was packed. She's like, but I need you to leave. I need you all to go home.
So they started sticking by, their rules and their ordinances that they have. I just don't understand
why
are they going to be able to go later? I mean, being a bar.
Maybe it might be the winter time that there might be some issues. But, like, I just don't understand why people are such...
While we're promoting, I'm sorry, you guys know me. When I'm like off the booze, I'm off the booze. Although maybe I'll get to a point someday where I make more than 10 grand in a year, so I can be like, oh, I'm successful. I can enjoy a cocktail. But I went to Saltwater Grill, and I
was
loved
there
it.
that night
They're
too.
shutting down for the winter though, because the booze is where they make their money. And I'm like, well, what about the food? It's not called Booze Grill. It's called and it's just sad that a business would have
Drift
to completely.
Does the same. Drift has been fighting to keep theirs open too.
And
I'll still go
the brewery, Cape Ann Brewery, is closing down for the winter for a couple months too.
There's something to be said for
the liquor licenses.
That and like what drives people in this town.
Right.
Like what drives us to go out and enjoy entertainment. We didn't need to get drunk to go do a heels class.
No. Oh my God. No.
And I don't think you should.
I know, you definitely shouldn't.
No, I mean, Eric
Although
says,
some people are probably good at it.
Eric even said, if you do, but that's your own personal safety. But we didn't need that. We had a friggin' blast.
And I'm not going to make this whole like a friggin' after school special kind of theme, but I just think I loved those chicken tenders that I just had, and the fact that I'm not going to be able to get those chicken tenders all this winter at the Saltwater Grill makes me mad.
I should go there before they close, because I've heard nothing but great things about
I
that
had the
food.
chicken piccata. I didn't know they had chicken tenders.
Between 3 and 6, there's $5 app specials.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I'm upset.
So
it's good. It's really good.
So good.
You owe us some money, Saltwater Grill. You better get in here and start buying some.
And Drift, let's go.
Yeah, get in here. Use clothing.
That's a bummer. That's a bummer. So where do you get So I'm looking around at your shop, and it's awesome. Just so many freaking fantastic freaking shit in
It's good for an ADD person.
Where do you get all this?
Or bad.
I know you said you started with stuff in your closet, but then how did you grow?
So picture that big purple hutch. All Bens are. There's a stove from the 1930s over there. So, like I said, if you go through that little article over there, you'll see some photos of what it looked like. It was quaint. It was neat. It was weird. People didn't know what the hell was going on. They thought they couldn't get in here. He literally had this table and then another big round table that I sold on top of it in the middle, covered by the piano that's over there, the Starry Night piano that he painted. Yeah. I'll show you after if you hadn't seen it. But so it was in the middle, just like people couldn't even see when he was in here. But he's an artist, so he was just painting and doing multimedia art. And so all those standing display mounts, which they are now, They of course were already in the store, and I'm like, okay, well these are things I can put clothes on, or put my friend's perfume on, or put necklaces on. So, and it was very colorful, but there's also, if you see this painting right here with the woman, it's like the 60s hard chick. Yeah. That is also, the kid was born in the 90s, he's like 22, but he's very inspired by a lot of different things, but like that retro nostalgic art, that mid-century or even early 20th century kind of like I said, the stoves from the 30s. You know, they're all for sale, but they also serve as a purpose right now. So I kind of set it up in the beginning before I got 1 million donations, because you're asking, like, where do I get everything? Well, yes, there was my clothes. I have so many people who were so kind and donated me a really nice thing. This one woman, Linda Soliday, she's from Utah, I think, or somewhere, New Mexico maybe. So a lot of her clothing is kind of things you'd find out more in the Southwest.
Wow.
But she just kept bringing me bags upon bags. And she doesn't want a consignment account. I'm not trying to be somewhere like the Dress Code, although please everybody go to the Dress Code. They have like fabulous stuff in there right now.
I have a great fur coat from there.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, I just bought those boots from there. Those are my new winter boots.
Yeah.
So I don't have the brain capacity to like manage 8 million consignor accounts.
Right.
But I can do like 10. And most of my consignor accounts are like, or some of them, half are like friends with art. And then half of them are women who are bringing me in good clothing. But I have a couple friends who brought me in some stuff, and their consignment log isn't very long. But I'm going to help you get paid a couple bucks. You're going to help my business. Maybe I can get a sandwich at Sugar Mag's, because I ain't buying any house anytime soon. I can't even pay my rent. That's a different podcast. I'll tell you, though, but it was Ben. It keeps coming back to him. I was inspired by his art, that cat painting. So actually, I had Brendan Pike come in here in June, I think, and photograph all his paintings, because my goal is to make the Post-Historic brand. This lettering up here, ladies, was outside, so it was called Post-Historic Studio.
Oh.
And Catherine set up some of my... she set up my online stores, and she's like, I think Post-Historic Studio sounds cool as, like, you know, that, like, kitschy, retro, thrifty stuff. And I'm like, okay. So it's weird. It's like, this is Paul's Closet, but it's also Post-Historic Studio.
Right.
And I wanted to build a store around that branding. You know, it's retro and it's colorful and it's 80s, but it's 90s, but it's 20s, but it's 30s, it's the 40s. I don't know when we're going to make it the 2000s, you know, because of course.
Do you think in a way does this remind you of bananas at all?
In a way, yes. You know what? It's funny, too, because people will be like, he must be so mad at you, especially with my leopard print, like, fabric, which I will put back up. But I'm like, no, because like, we all do... Well, his story is interesting, too. From what I understand, there was, like, a fire, and, like, someone left him a bunch of stuff that didn't get ruined, and then he started a store with it.
Oh, okay.
I don't really know, but...
It's been around for 1,000 years.
I love Richard. He came in here and bought a Mighty Mac jacket. Do you remember Mighty Mac?
Yes.
It's this, like, huge yellow and white pinstripe, like, it looks like from the Music Man or something.
Oh, my God.
So we support each other. Barbara, Dress Code, him. I do need to hit up some more shops around here, but...
So are you immersing yourself in the downtown community of businesses? Because the downtown in the businesses really is its own world and community, and the downtown businesses really do unite and help each other, you know, hence this shopping spree thing that started a few years ago. Or many, you know, that was kind of like one of the things that they all came together and to do. So do you find yourself like going to, you know, immersing yourself with other businesses?
I feel bad because I wish I mean, I'm not trying to pull this like I'm so poor thing, but times are tough. I am poor. This is a startup. So I know that I'm not going to be like bringing in 10 grand every month or anything. But I'll tell you, when I do, yes, I would love to. I love that. Oh God, I love the woman who owns it too. Good Linens. No. Anyway, she's got this really cool shop right near at Sugar Mag's. I think it's called Good Linens.
Yeah, it is Good Linens.
And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But, you know, yes, I would like to support all these businesses a little bit more. So, but I support them in the fact that I'll talk about them and say they have beautiful stores. Catherine's mother, Elizabeth, is like a healer and a metaphysical kind of spiritual worker. So she's got an office that you wouldn't even know upstairs, I think, from Engel and Volkers. And, you know, at the beginning of doing this, I was still working the closet case thing. I was working at Sugar Mag's busing. Then I worked at Passports. while I'm doing this, if they need me, it's like, well, I'm probably only going to bring $20 into the shop today, so I might as well go serve some tables. You know, to me, I have to spread myself thin. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably be applying to one of these businesses around the corner. They'll take me soon because I need, you know, I have to be realistic. Like, yeah, I own a business, but I still need to work.
Right, of course.
And I need to make money
and
get these bills paid.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that we all need to support each other, and I hope that I see more. You know, I'll say this: I haven't seen some people in here that I thought would, but a lot of the tourists this summer completely got it. They were like, "Oh, we get it."
Oh, right.
You know, they understand. I've been helping a homeless person. He's my good friend now through this, and I actually got him to perform at Magwell for an event. Like I have a little bit of like a deep-rooted plan for what I want to do in this town if I can get enough money and raise awareness. So being across the street from High Tide Glass, being across the street from the North Shore Health Project, the one-stop health center that does free testing, and yes, they give out free syringes and, you know, so people can do their drugs clean, so at least you're not passing diseases. Like, I know that's a little progressive for some people, but these things it's so important for us to not just focus on our own businesses, but if we want to make our town better, we need to implement a new system that's going to help us work the homeless population in Gloucester, which is bigger than people would think, into our society. We need to get these people to start working for our businesses. We need to get them off drugs. Some of these people at the shelter aren't on drugs, but they're just homeless.
Right.
But they're in a shelter with people who are coming and on drugs. And those energy fields of people shouldn't be mixed. So really, sorry whether I'm not supposed to go on this or not, my goal is to somehow raise money or awareness or whatever that we need to reform the Gloucester homeless shelter, and we need wings for people, and we can't kick them out at 7 a.m. and just send them to fend for themselves all over town or go get your free meal at the Gray Center. No, you should be open all day. You should be playing games. We should be watching movies with these people. We should be working these people back into society, because I don't have all the time to do it for everyone right now, but this one man that I've been helping, I've literally watched this man, and he's an African-American male, and there's not many African-Americans in Gloucester, and you know, I think racism is a word that people throw around, but quite honestly, it's ignorance. And if people learn, they won't be afraid to look not just like a black person in the face, but like a homeless one who might not have the best hygiene. It's like, this person, we don't know what these people have been through. We don't know why they got to the place. I mean, it's all deals with mental health. But the power of love and the human spirit will really change the town.
Have you thought about getting involved in action so you can have your voice heard? I mean, getting into those channels?
Oh, they heard my voice once, so I'm slowly working myself back into, yeah, I would love to. And I have my hands in a couple, what do they call it? I have the fire pokers in the stove. I'm always thinking of the cool sounding figure speech. Yeah, no, I got to go at it slow now, because I'm aware of my personality. I'm aware of how aggressive I can be, but it's always coming from a good place.
I like it. I like to call it passionate.
Thank you.
I like to call
fiery. I'm a fire sign.
I am too. And I like to call
Leo.
Yes. Hello. Yeah.
I think also too, a lot of people in this city, if you rebel rouse a lot, they kind of hold on to that, even if you've changed.
Oh, yeah, grudges from 20 years ago. Someone made fun of you in high school. Like, okay, well, guess what? Now that someone is like...
We discussed this with Christian Mackey on the Sunrise Fund.
Oh, good.
So we had them on before the summer, and actually in May. You know...
He just had a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love Christian. It's funny because someone actually like brought something... A friend of mine who doesn't even live here anymore brought up like, oh... That kid was so mean to me. I'm like, you played football too. I was like, I thought you guys... But I said, no, but hold up. This is what this kid's done with his life. Like, Christian, if you're listening, sorry. We're not dragging you into this, but these things need to be talked about. And I think a lot of times we're getting to a place where we feel more comfortable trying to, like, change the status quo.
Yes.
But we still got a lot of people... Like, I have friends who had their babies baptized, and I'm like, why? You're not Catholic. And I don't, no offense if you did, but I'm just like, you don't go to church. Like, so, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. I just mean, yeah, but without even calling it that, it's just like, that's kind of what you do. But if you did something different, people in general, then we see different results. Mm-hmm. So we kind of have to, like, I think God's cool. I just think I know what it means for me. And I think a lot of people are afraid of the word because they think it's like Catholic Bible God. And it's like, you can find God like in the trees. You just sit down, meditate, and you like ask the universe.
It's a difference. There's differences.
Between spirituality and religion.
So, but yes, the businesses, I want to support them, and I wish I could get them on board with that whole vibe of mine.
Right. So I'm looking around, and I see prices on some stuff, but not on everything. So how does this work in here?
This is how it works. Your boy Paul was never meant to manage a store. Like I said, I wanted to go into business with friends because I know, okay, we all got something we can offer. So I have to do it all by myself. Upon that, thank you, Catherine. I love you. Catherine's been helping out with the pricing of things. And in the beginning...
Where did Catherine come from? Let's talk about Catherine.
Her amazing mother.
Okay, and who's her mother? How does this all work out?
No, your mom's last name is...
Ackerman.
Elizabeth Ackerman. She's a wonderful woman who's been just, like, coming by my shop and seeing... and she's seen me at, like, some of my worst times, and then... She looked so fabulous yesterday, by the way. She came in, like, all decked out. I'm like, what the heck? But I didn't even know what her jam was or what she did. And then right before I went to Nashville recently, before Thanksgiving, I stopped up in her shop, and then I realized, oh, my God, she does past life regressions. And if you know what that is, it's when people, like, take you on a journey through your past lives. I've been wanting to do that forever. So I'm like, oh, you're coming into my life at this time. Like, I need you. And she's been telling me about her daughter and all her friends who do the online store stuff, and they live for this.
Wow.
Are you 16?
Yeah, 16.
So they, do you want to talk a little bit about your background?
Well, okay.
Get closer to the microphone.
Come on.
Okay. Well, I go to Rockport High School, and I met Paula through my mom, and she said that this store would be something that would be so fun to work with him with. And originally, I came in to help him mainly with online selling, basically on, like, Mercari, Poshmark.
Depop.
Yeah, Depop, which I learned from another friend, which was great use and great help. But eventually, I started working in the store, and it's such a fun and creative space, and Paul is such a nice guy. Like, when you meet him in person, like, instantly you kind of click with him, because he's just the most charismatic person I've met.
God.
No, I'm serious.
I've noticed since he was, like, 5 years old.
Just don't rub me the wrong way.
Yeah, but he was honestly so welcoming, and it's such a creative store, like, everything about it. Like, I walked in here, my eyes were just bursting. It was incredible.
Thank you. That's awesome.
So, as a young person and a teenager, how do you feel about, like, all of this kind of stuff coming up? Like, because nowadays I feel like this generation, her generation, they're so used to this, considering
there's
like,
a lot more tolerance.
There's a lot more tolerance, especially with, like, RuPaul being more of a formative figure in the modern pop culture, whereas with us growing up, RuPaul was like, what is it? What's happening?
I know, I was like, supermodel.
Right. But, like,
Work.
so, like,
Yes.
like, coming into this, you were just like, what? Like, you're like, yes, I'm here for this.
Definitely.
So, like, you were all about it? Is that...
Yeah, I was all about it. And I think my generations and even generations, like, before us, like, we're getting a lot more into, like, not going into, like, big businesses and wanting to buy from them. Like, and going into stores where we can, like, get things for cheaper and that are, like, already worn and are just better prices for, like, where we are in life. I feel like it's just a creative store, and, like, there's just so much in it, and I feel like because it comes from so many people, we get the chance to see so many new things, and I feel like that's a little different than what we normally get to see in such a small town.
Oh my God,
Can we talk about this well-spoken teenager?
No,
Yes.
she's amazing.
So fabulous.
What grade are you on?
I'm a junior.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome.
Wow.
She's
So-
like my antidepressant. So basically, when things aren't priced, that means
Yes.
Paul's so ADD and just got 15 bags in, and I am still working the 2 other jobs or going to Beverly. I also worked at 9 Wallace. I mean, I'm literally spreading myself so thin just to survive. This is like this store, I want to flip it to be like a good business, but it's a performance art space showcasing survival. So luckily I'm good with, because of my troubled past and having to deal with just like adults just like fucking you over, I've learned how to just handle shit. And part of that is schmoozing. And just, so if something isn't priced, like literally when people come in the door and I see them looking and I'm like, ooh, they're probably like, what the hell's the deal? I'll be like, hey, what's going on? I'm Paul, and, you know, just if there's something you like, just, and it doesn't have a price, throw something at me. Maybe I'll give it to you for free, you know, just make them laugh. It's what I've always done.
Right.
Make them feel comfortable. Some people don't respond to it well. Most people love it. And also, with the spray paint outside, I wrote, prices, name yours. It's like, I'm kind of like, it's my own insurance policy to protect myself. Like, if you're going to come in here with, like, what the hell's going on, well, I think I told you outside. You know, so if I don't have the chance...
Double for you.
I mean, I'm working 7 different positions. Manager, owner, retail, merchandiser, window display person. Although Stacy and Toronto just did my recent window display. The point is, I'm not meant to do it all. But no one else is going to do it. And I can't... Although earlier, like when you and your mom came in, I was like, oh, Catherine, do you just like want my store? I don't want to do it anymore. But I do want to do it because to me, it's about... Beyond survival, it's about, like I said, the triumph of the human spirit. You can't give up.
Well, no business ever started easy. And no business ever started without trials and tribulations. So you're not the first one. You're not going to be the last one. And there's a million other businesses down in Gloucester that, or when they all started, I'm sure felt, you know, the same way that you do. So you're definitely, I can guarantee you, not alone in that, you know?
Yeah. Well, then to answer your question, if there's no prices on something, let's start a dialogue. I'll do that too. That's part of my opening thing. I'm like, you know, guys, if there's no price, we can just start a dialogue. Like, I'm just being funny, but I like to see people come out of their wool. Like, just be brave. Talk to strangers. I've gotten people who probably don't like talking to anyone to chat with me about their lives.
Well, they came inside. I mean, obviously they were intrigued by something to walk through the door.
Oh, I love when they walk out, though. Yeah, I guess I've never had anyone actually, like, be pissed and walked out, but, you know, you see the people who are uncomfortable, and to each their own, and maybe they'll come back, and
this
maybe...
is your space.
Yeah.
They're walking into your space, and they were intrigued by something outside, so this is your house.
Yeah,
you
it really was
command
sometimes last winter too, because I slept here a lot. I did have my own apartment. But
so I see a lot of like Maryland stuff, which I'm all for because I love all this art on your wall. So you're saying you just throw out a price and talk about it?
Yeah, but if it's a consigners, I try to like get them the most. But you know, you can't just like price things high, and the art is different. So if my friends made art, you put your time and many hours into that. So that is that I'm going to charge more for.
Yeah.
That piece of art up there, that Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I got that in a state sale down the fort. This man named Carlo Orlando. He had like a house going out of business, and so. I'm not consigning that for him. I actually outright bought it from him with all this other cool retro stuff.
Yeah.
And I saw an unfinished, different painting he had. He starts it off by drawing it, then he paints over it. It's gorgeous. So I source things many different ways, and I think if it's art, it should be a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And, but yeah, even Catherine's helping me to, like, let go of, like I want $20 for this, but you know what? Just give it to him for 10. I have a free bin that I put out. Going back to the Marilyn Monroe, I'm about to do like a whole Marilyn/Playboy section because I have one consignor who brought me in a ton of Playboy like underwear and panties. I mean, that's the same thing. Panties and bras, unused. Don't worry. You know, just brand new that she never ended up wearing. And then, of course, there's Marilyn, the like, you know, quintessential playmate. Right. And I don't know. And then I have like a ton of Playboys going back to the 60s. So if you want some Playboys for the sake of the amazing interviews and just the content, come see me because I don't want them. There's too many.
Awesome. So what are your hours? What do you open?
So check it out. Oh, I really encourage everybody to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I don't do Twitter because like I just can't be bothered right now. No offense, but Facebook.com/Paul's Closet. Mm-hmm. Instagram. It's not Paul's Closet. Oh, I'm sorry. Facebook and Instagram, it's at Paul's Closet Resale.
Okay.
And if people want to get in here, they can DM me. They can call my phone. My business phone number is my cell. And I'll definitely show up. I live in Magnolia, but the bus literally comes right outside my house. So I can get on the bus, come down here. I think moving forward, unless I can find someone to work for me, I usually take... No, I'm usually here every day, but I'd like to probably do, like, not here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But then again, a lot of businesses are closed on Monday, so I should be open.
Yep.
So the hours are really, like,
By
your
appointment
hours.
only
By
right
appointment only. You know, I would say I'm probably going to be here a lot more than less because there's no main signage. And, yeah, the building is dark. Nothing draws... You need, like, a very contrasting trim to a main building color, I think, to pull your eyes in from Main Street if you're driving by.
What about a light?
Well, there's an outside light, but during the day...
light in the window.
I actually have a couple of those. Yeah, it's every... I keep getting bags in, and I'm like, oh, God. But as you can see, I need to clean up a little.
No, it's awesome.
But
like
my
I saw
hours...
on your Facebook, like, you had hours for this weekend. Like, today is 12 to 6.
Yep.
And, you had yesterday. So, I mean, you are having, you are pulling in those. Since we're going to find your hours as, via Facebook or
Please
Instagram.
call me if you ever want to come in, even if it's just to look at stuff and, like, not buy anything, that's okay. But because of the reality of my life and, I can't just, like, I know that I can't set definite hours right now.
Yep.
Also, I just dealt with, like, I'm so candid, whatever. I got a DUI last December, and I just had my final DUI class, so a lot of these weird appointments I have to go, like, it takes up a lot of my time, but what am I going to tell everybody that? Yes, because I'm me, and I tell everybody everything, but there's a lot of personal things, and I deal with a lot of stress, so literally I've had to tell people to leave sometimes, like my friends, not just anybody. I'm like, listen, I'm so sorry. I need to be by myself right now. I need to clean the place. But, yeah, people think I'm crazy, I'm sure. But that's part of life. I mean, I can't be a robot for everybody all the time.
Right.
But if you want to get in the store, please hit me up. Other than that, generally, I'm here between the hours of 11 and 6, like, every day.
Okay.
But I want to do nighttime hours, too. Mm-hmm. There's something special about cold, crisp air, a dark blue sky, and the lights on. You feel like you're in a major city, but in a small town, it makes people feel like there's something else out there besides the TV and the couch.
Right. Are you going to be open for men's night as well?
Do men even shop? Yes, I'll be
they
open.
They do.
I wish they had a gay men's night.
Men's night down here, it's just pretty busy.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty busy.
Yeah, of course I'll be open. I got stuff for kids. People have bought, like, dinosaur toys for their kids.
Awesome.
I mean, I have to keep it eclectic. I have to keep it... I mean, hey, I got Playboy. Yeah, men, come in here.
Right?
But also, they could buy for their wives or girlfriends.
Yep.
Stuff... I mean,
there's a lot of stuff.
Also, if you want to make a return, like, I'd rather do an all-sales final thing, but, so this guy came in, his name's Antonio, I think he's Brazilian, he's friggin' so cool. He bought this Ed Hardy jacket for $50 for his sister or sister-in-law, and then she returned it the next day, but I just gave her $50 store credit, and she got $50 worth of clothing. I took the jacket back, and I gave her the clothes, and luckily they were all donations, so...
Amazing.
So I don't have to worry about paying anybody out for that. That way it keeps it... my Google spreadsheet's, like, mental, but... Yeah, there's something for everybody here.
Absolutely.
But when it rains, I have a chalkboard sign, so, like, I can't put that out. But there's definitely things I need to be better at. But,
You're a new business.
It's a learning process.
It's a working process. It's a learning process, but you're taking all the right steps. You're doing all the right things, and I really think that it will be a great success. And like I said, you're great. You're literally centrally located. So, no, it's great.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in. And
thank you for having us. It's really cool. It's a really fucking cool store, everyone. So come down to Center Street, whether it's ladies' night, men's night, any other night, give Paul a call.
Yeah.
Just arrived. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Honestly, I'm not worthy. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you. Good morning.